Well. Yes, the stream is here again. Nice look watch along. The second giant host team. Let's see if they can do what Mexico did yesterday. And Group A has come to an end. Match day one. Serbia. Yeah, I'm talking about Serbia. South Korea. Yes, South Korea and Czechia. The late game that played yesterday. So now we are back again with another one where Canadian men's national team will play Bosnia Herzegovina. Big game, big day, for Canadian people as well. Huge day for the Bosnian as well. I was watching the broadcast and the pre-game build-up show, and just to see the face of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, someone who have ties with the nationality of Bosnia. So you're happy, he was talking about the Bosnian team as well, beating a team that, wow, it was almost 1-0 by the Bosnian. He skyrocketed that one over the post, but interested one. The American media is not having none of what Jesse Marsh have been saying over the last couple of days. Still talking and rumbling on the US men's national team while he should be focusing on the Canadian men's national team. But I'm expecting, a strong Canadian team to play, in this game in this afternoon. I'll be very shocked, to see anything close to a Bosnia win or a Bosnia point, even though it is possible, for a Bosnia team to get something from this game, because they are a very decent team, and look at the pathway, they were coming from as well. It shows that they are right there. You get what I'm saying? It shows that they are right there on the brink of changing the football landscape in Bosnia and start to qualify again for some major titles. But Canada is on the horizon for the Bosnian team. You have some very good experienced players, some very mixture as well of young, inexperienced players. You understand? Literally all of these players, in this team playing here for the very first time. Edwin Dzeko was around in the last time, but looking at this team at this moment, they're very happy. Their resilience. They're going to come out fighting. You get what I'm saying? Look at that Czech Republic team that played, their own strength, their own identity football, and the South Korean team. Expect to see something like this, similar from this Bosnian team, but I think the Canadian team going to have a very tough game up on their sleeve, and you could see the Bosnian team started out on a very high energy. They don't want this Canadian team to be settled. It's a good Canadian team under Jesse Marsh, resurgent team as well. Looking for their first World Cup win. That would be the most important thing as well, to get a massive win in match day one of Group B. In Toronto, let the fans be happy. I was watching the march, in downtown Canada on social media, and the fans were happy. There's a passion, showing for their nationality. It's just unreal. And you see, it's another opportunity, half opportunity as well, from the set piece as well. So you can tell, a lot of these lower ranks European teams, they will be used this as their weapon, going into these games against some of the bigger opponents or the more favorable opponents. Yeah. But let's see, what will transpire, in this game. But I'm having this Canada team to win a 2-0 today. Yes, even though they're big guns, is on the bench. You talk about Alfonso, Bambito is on the bench as well. And that player, that switch allegiance to play for Canada as well, I play for Tigres, he's out injured. That ACL is finished for the entire campaign before it was even started. So a few injuries rattle, this Canadian starting 11, probably 2 out of the 3, or probably 3 out of the 3. of those players that I just called would have easily feast in this starting 11. But I think it's a strong enough team. Yeah, I think it's a strong enough team to get something from this game. But, this team going to play with character. The Jesse Marsh teams, they always a team, go back to Red Bulls, Salzburgs, the Leeds United, even go back to New York Red Bull in the MLS. His team has always played with a strong identity. It's always a strong unit. You get what I'm saying? So really good to see, 2-0 my side. I expect this team to win 2-0, just like someone said in the comment section, Young Cryptic 99, he said that, 2-0 my side with the Canadian flags emoji. Yes, but Canada is on the back foot so far. So far, they are on the back foot, in this game. Bosnia is more in their half at this moment, looking really threatening, especially with the couple of set piece that they took in the last minute. Very physical at the back. I think this team is similar at the back, like the Czechia team. If you start to get patient, if you start to get the rhythm and be organized, at the back, then something can happen, for you. Keep the ball moving, keep the ball ticking. Playing the possession game. Play with a lot of energy. They don't want to play the ball slow and making square passes. You give them more room, you give them more time to organize. And you could see that the 50-50s, the first ball, the second ball, the Bosnian team, the players are winning those balls already. So the Canadian team is yet to really settle. Really yet to settle and get this game, really going. The likes of Estacio in that midfield, the exporter player, I think he needs to get on this football a lot more. I think he needs to, settle the rhythm, get into the tempo, and get the better players and that comfortable on the ball, in this game for the Canadian men's national team. But player like, Kone, in the midfield, playing Italian Serie A, as soon as these players start to get, a bit on the ball, a bit more, just find their feet in the game and, match up to and customize to the pace of where the game is at, then, maybe it would be a different game. But, as a host nation, playing in front of Sea of Red, you want to get off on a very good start. Out of the three host nations, I believe that the Canadian team fan, they are the less toxic. So I think they are more happy of being in this World Cup, hosting it the first time on Canadian side, trying to get their first win in this tournament. That will be huge. That will be massive as well. So I just think they are less thinking about the negativity, more of supporting their beloved Sea of Red in the stadium at this moment. Few Bosnian, supporters in the stadium as well. Very good traveling fans. When you look at how they travel, throughout their qualification campaign, quite a few hundreds of people in the away section, making a lot of noise. Yes, and I'm assuming that there's probably a few Bosnians, living in Canada as well, a little small group of population living somewhere, in Toronto, different province of, in Toronto or Ontario, I must say. So they are out in numbers, quite a few. I think they kind of huddle up together and then the few scattered all over BMO Field. Interested one as well, the stadium, the makeshift stand. Yes, the makeshift stand. A lot of people are kind of skeptic with the makeshift stand, but the politics, the bad news, the bad reports, everything is out the door at this moment. It's all about what is happening on the pitch. And I'm telling you, like, where I'm at this moment, just under 30 minutes ago, before a bit of a shower came down, it was 105 degrees Fahrenheit where I was. So I'm very curious, and I'm going to look at the weather, in Toronto of what is the temperature in Toronto at this moment? I know they got a few rains over the last couple of days, in that area, so it might not be that intense heat, but 77 degrees Fahrenheit, the highs will be 83, the low will be 63. Let's see what else. So the wind is 12 miles per hour and the gust will be 20 miles per hour. So, the gust is a bit much stronger than the Canadian, the Mexico game yesterday as well, especially the one in the Azteca, Mexico versus South Africa, where the wind was 5 miles per hour and the gust was like 10 miles per hour. So I'm assuming there's a bit of a stronger breeze. Maybe if that rain that's in the forecast is carrying that breeze with it as well. So it's okay, but I think it's still a very warm, decent temperature. Whatever the temperature is around in that area, especially in that city, it will be probably a slightly hotter and a more intense as well, on the pitch with the grass as well. So knowing these places at times, and I think the BMO field it's a wide open place where the breeze just can lash right across the venue. It's not one of those stadium where it got four banks of wall. There's no way the breeze can get in. Once the breeze is really blowing, it's going to just box right across the stadium, especially and I think the goal that the Bosnian team is kicking, is wide open back there, and the water is right behind the stadium, so it's a much probably better place, to experience, a very good game and feeling that nice cool breeze coming off the water at BMO Field. So seeing that makeshift stadium where the Canada team is kicking at this moment, let's see. No, Canada is not really a country that with crazy fans, they are not really going to be bouncing up and down like what you will see from like a Galatasaray, team, fans bounce for the entire 90 minutes. But interested so far, with this game. 13 minutes in, and Canada is yet to really find their place in this game. Yes, Canadian team is yet to really find their place in this game. Bosnian, they look more comfortable so far. A few passes playing out from the back, would have seen what happened yesterday with the South African team. Few mistakes, misplaced pass again from the back, and almost get penalized as well. And no, it is a corner kick for the Canadian men's national team coming from a misplaced pass, trying to play it from the back. And the Canada team won the ball. Quick throw in, to Jonathan David, the man who is kind of out of touch at the club level. Can he get something? They will be looking at him. Someone, who have scored loads of goals, for this national team, 30 plus goals. So he have a very high, strong eye for goal, when he ever is playing in the La Roja, the red jersey. So let's see if he can help his national team to find one today. But it's very interesting to see another player. I think there's a player that started in the forward line with him. Surprising not seeing Kyle Larin, more of seeing, Tani Aluwasi. The Villarreal seems like that is a Nigerian name as well. Playing for Villarreal this campaign, 27 goals, 27 games, 2 goals and 2 assists. Not so bad. Kyle Larin has scored a few goals as well, for Southampton in the English Championship. But very surprising one from Jesse March. Yeah. Not really seeing that Jesse March intense person, as in you have to be mindful because the heat will be a factor late in the game as well. But seeing for the first time, really seeing the Canadian team, open up this Bosnian team, and it's almost where it started from Estacio to Kone in that midfield, and the ball slid on the left hand side. I think it was Miller who is out here on the near touch line, getting that cross into the box. So first time seeing the two double pivot, the two dynamic midfielders that Canada expect to get on the ball, playing the pass to each other for the very first time I've seen, and it look a bit dangerous. Here they goes again, finding that a bit of a rhythm, fine tune in that midfield. Ball is out here on the near side, to Miller. What is he doing? Inside back, to Larea, Miller. Wow. So for the next couple of minutes going to be crucial because it seems like this team has found a bit of rhythm and space. And here we go. Oh my God, that has to go into the back of the net, Jonathan David. You have to score something like get pinned in your own half in the first 15 minutes. No, you're getting some luxury times. You're getting time and space. You have to put that ball in the corner of the post. You have to finish that whether or not it's on your left or your right. Come on, you have to finish that, man. Will they get punished for that miss opportunity, that didn't took by Jonathan David? Yes, and there we go again. They playing out from the back. Playing out from the back again can really, really cost you, so you have to be mindful as the Bosnian team. Very good turn right there from corner in the midfield, and he draw the foul coming from the Bosnian number 13, Basic. Yes, so finally, it's safe to say that this Canada team is getting into the game at this moment. They are right in it. They are right in it. Seeing Jesse Marsh for the very first time, a very, very upset Jesse Marsh looking right there, saying to himself, if I was there, I would have definitely scored that goal. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, what the caliber of Jonathan David playing for Canada, he should put that in. He should put that one in the back of it, and just the reaction from the manager himself, he tells you that, listen, that ball should have scored. You should have put that one in the back of it. That should have easily been 1-0 up. Shot the Bosnian, score a goal in the first 20 minutes. Let's see, test their mentality, test how they will react of being 1-0 down. Chasing the game even much more, burning a lot more energy. It will take a toll on their legs as well. And everything can, a goal in that first 20, 30 can really pull up any team structure, whatever they really came to play, on the day can really change the formation, go to plan B, go to plan C, and allow the coach to do some in-game management as well as, tweak tactically what shape they will play of being 1-0 down because they know it's going to be a different game. Then they're going to have to, be a lot more on the front foot at some given point in the game. But, some very nice slick passing, from this Canadian team. And this is the style of, a lot of Canadian fans witness for the very first time under Jesse Marsh, with the team in the Copa America before losing to Argentina in the semi-final. Yeah, getting out of that group as well, with the likes of Chile was in that group and Argentina. So good times, in the game, good times in the game for the Canadian men's player, not a good tackle from Estaquio, the captain, right there. Yes, not so good. I think that was just a wasteful challenge right there, The player's not really going anywhere, and you stick out a leg just like that. We're lucky not to get a yellow card also in that game. But 19 to 20 minutes, into the game already. Last five minutes, it was all what the Canadian team did. Created opportunity, missed by David. But here we go again, from the Bosnian. Look, very good challenge by very, very good challenge by Larea. Very good challenge by Larea. Very tough one, physical, didn't back out. He put everything in that. And that's how you have to come, and beat this Canadian team. You have to fight with them. And the last thing that a Canadian team really want, is to have a fight with this team. You want to come and play clever football. You want to come and play very good IQ football. That's how you're going to break down these teams. These teams, golazo, 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 golazo. And we have seen it again. Yet another set piece goal from another small European team with less with less quality in their team, scoring against one of the favorite in the group, and it's happening again. Are you telling me the Bosnian going to win this group? Just like how you said the Czechia will win and advance as the winner in Group A. Yeah, I mean, look, Canada have some problem at their hands at this moment. The Canadian team have some issues. Hold on. What the hell the keeper is really doing? Who is at number 4? So the number 4 for Canada, the youngster, what the hell he was doing? Him and the keeper get caught in no man lands. But anyways, praises, kudos to this Bosnia team. They deserve it. They're the better team in the first 20 minutes. But the Canadian team, look, the girl is even crying, man. You know, it's a special goal. It is a special goal for the Bosnian. Who is this calling me, people? 1 second. Yes, people, you know, the first water break of the game, you know, the Bosnia Herzegovina team took the lead. Goal scored by Lukic. Yes, the goal scored by Lukic, the man that who is playing currently in the Romanian league. 32 games for his club team, 18 goals and 2 assists. Playing for University Tia Cluj, Club Cluj in Romanian football. So the man that's partnering with one of the talisman of the Bosnian team, Dermerovic, playing for Stuttgart. You know, yet to really see much of him, but they will happily taking this 1-0 lead into the first water break. You know, I was on mute just a while ago. I was talking to someone on the phone. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's see how this team going to react. You know, finally this team get a look of prep talk, you know, from Jesse March. You know, you finally probably adjust a few things in that water break. But you know, you see him right there sitting down. He's a bit looking confused of going 1-0 down versus Bosnia. Look, these countries, you know, the smaller countries, you know, they will equip enough and how they're going to beat the favorites in game. You get what I'm saying? So let's see if Jesse March really can replicate what he done in previous, you know, major tournament like the Gold Cup. You know, look, they think they went to the quarterfinals in the last Gold Cup last year. The Copa America was a success, semi-final as well. Wasn't much success in the Nations League. You know, this Canada team, you know, even before the Jesse March, but I think a quarterfinal in this World Cup, they will arguably take this one. You know, but first problem in Group B is to get back the lead level. If they can get back this level before the end of the first 45 minutes, that will give them a good platform to build on in the second half, you know. But I really like this game. I really do like this game. You know, Bosnia team, you know, they can play the direct football, but they look more of a team more than the Czechia team that, like, you know, you want to play the football, you know, you want to have some possession, you know, you don't just want to kick the ball long, you don't want to just defend and wait on the set piece to try and score a goal. You know, they work hard for that set piece by, you know, the build-up play, you know, keeping the ball safe, you know, with their players as well. But Canada have opportunity, you know, out wide out on that right-hand side, you know, with a set piece as well. You know, let's see. It's a very, oh no, referee pull it back. The Argentinian referee pull it back. So the referee is Facundo Tello from Argentina. Not quite cleared. Come on. Oh. Boy, Jonathan find himself in some clever position, but he just cannot get one off. Cleared, you know, by Bosnia away to the far side of the pitch. What is this now? How you pronounce that name? Mohimovic? These some of these, you know, European teams, especially the Far East teams, have some very funny names to pronounce, you know, very difficult. And if you don't speak this language sometimes, you know, it's very hard to pronounce some of these names. So once again, you know, the Canadian team is pouncing down on the right-hand side, and it is a corner kick from the Canadian team as well. So it's corner kick, ball was spot by Estacio, yeah. Let's see if he can deliver a very good one as well over in the box. And it's not. And it's Miller on the edge of the box. And it's Jonathan David. And he won, you know. That's a stupid tackle. That's a stupid tackle. Stupid tackle. The player back is turned to the box. Why you just went to nudge right him into his back? Like, stupid tackle, man. These are the silly things that will cost you and allow this team to get back into the game. Silly challenge. Silly challenge. Mihailovic. You expect your captain to do better than that right there. You know, you expect him to make better decision, and it's on top of the box. Oh. Game kind of being a little bit one-sided game at this moment. And here's a challenge, a counter-attack, and there's a foul. Very well challenged, very well mapped up, very well tracking back as well from Jonathan David. You know, so the game is boiling up. You know, post to that water break, the Canadian team look more of a serious team, looking really positive. They want to, you know, to get back on the score sheet level by getting that goal in the back of the net. But, you know, you could probably see this Bosnian team, you know, kind of stuck, you know, in their ways a while ago, not managed to get the ball out real quick. Wow. So the first 30 minutes, 60%, to 30 possession for the Bosnian team. You know, total shots, you know, Bosnia still have more shots and towards the goal than the Canada team. You know, Bosnia have 2 shots on target. Canada have 1. Canada was only touched ball 7 times in the box, 6 times for the Bosnian team as well. Only real 1 chance created, and that was the Jonathan David opportunity as well. 3-1 corner in Canada favor. That's around it right there as well with the statistic. Yeah, the halftime break is like the hydration break is like a halftime break. Look how Canada and again back composure after this bad. This is bad for the game. Yeah, I just think I don't know, man. I've never really like, and there's another opportunity for. Oh my God, you cannot. They are getting their opportunity. They are getting the opportunity. They are getting their fair opportunity, and Tiani, so two opportunities for this Canada team. Two chances fall on the left side of the two players, Tani and Jonathan as well. But the halftime break, 45 minutes. I'm not sure how much you need of a hydration break, into that section as well. Minute 1 to minute 45. I don't know how much hydration break you need in that period. So again, teams can use this to their advantage as well. And I don't want to say yes, the Bosnia team would have probably want the game to continue rather than having a Canada team huddling up and to regroup and just to straighten out and iron out certain things tactically with the board as well. But just seems like the water break will benefit the Canada team. They look like they found themselves. They found the rhythm that they did want to start the game with. But you cannot go 1-0 down. With a very decent, not good, but a very decent Bosnian team that they're not going to shy away. From defending and to drop deep. And there's a Canada corner at this moment, but Canada, man, they're ramping up, they're attacking on the Bosnian team. It's only getting worse and worse as the minutes goes on late into the first half as well. Can he find one of the big center half in the box? And it's Carnias. No. And there is a attack on the break. Is he quick enough? Oh, Nemec. DC World 12, Canada a joke around. Yeah, them are gonna allow. Look, they're going to continue play like this. And if this Bosnian team find another goal before Canada find one, then it's going to be even tougher. Really chasing a game in the dense heat of Toronto. It's a very good. I think it's a very good game. Out of all the games that played so far, to be honest, I think this game really started out very well. If you look at it, the Mexico game wasn't so bad. The Korea game last night, that game, it was very bad in the first 30 minutes. Very bad for the neutrals to watch. Yeah, but this game for the neutral, I think it's a very, very competitive game at this moment. As much as the Bosnia team are defending, they still want to hold their composure. They still want to slow the rhythm down and to slow the pace down with this Canada team as well. And the more they can do that, and just to crack the tempo out of the game. But you don't want to really slow it down too much every time. But when the break is on, that's when you have to clock in. And I don't think this Bosnia team have a speed merchant in their team. You saw out on that left hand side, his name Memich, the 15. You see, he couldn't really get ahead, of the player that was covering, I think it was Laria, covering from the left hand side to over on that right hand side. Couldn't get past him. Slow down the ball, trying to beat him, but the passes are getting even slicker, for this Canadian team. They are passing some very good ball in the pockets. But again, the Bosnia team, the backs are four, it's unreal sometimes to get through. And they're fighting. Let's see how long they can fight for. But 36 minutes, just under 10 minutes left, before the half end. Lukic, yes, Lukic found the back of the net in the 21st minute from a set piece, another set piece goal. Look, I think this World Cup might be one of that World Cup where you see a lot of set piece goal. Knowing what is happening, in the last 3-4 years since the last World Cup in club football, set piece has been a different beast. The long throw has reinstated back again. People are taking more tactical approach by hitting corners, free kicks. They are being a bit more, different than the last World Cup. So this World Cup, don't be surprised if we get a lot of set piece goals from the opponent teams. Yeah, so and it's Takio. Oh, and it's David. And it's another corner kick. Yeah, the pressure is ramping up, man. The pressure is ramping up. No, that's not a handball. Nah. Play on. Play on, referee, tell her. No handball. So another set piece again. You really want to make one of these count, and it's 7-1 in the favor of Canada already. In the first half, not much. One another, and it's wow. Another corner kick again. It's ramping up, man. So you look at the game in the last 5 minutes. Canada literally get 4 to 5 corner kick in every minute since the last five, and they yet to really, even to come close. I think the corner kicks have been a bit poor, but credit to the Bosnian team. They are defending really well, and there's another half chance for Jonathan David again. Wow. This is The halftime break is coming up shortly off, right up on us, and the Canada team is still pressing, hoping to get something, from the game. I think I think Canada with probably an outlet like Alfonso that will bring a lot of speed, and just someone that can distract this Bosnia team, especially just to be on the pitch, threaten them. Players will start to back off. Players don't really want to come tight. But as it stands, they are not really backing off from this Canada team. They know exactly where and when to press them. Soon as they get close to the defensive third, and the Bosnia team, they are playing out the ball very good. Nice sweeping pass across to the left hand side to Memic. But you see, he's not getting the ball under control quick enough to get past John Stone over on the right hand side. But it's a few times already, these two players, going at it 1v1, and Memic, is yet to really be successful at it. But as you can see, man, the Bosnian fans, they are living it. They are living the moment right now in Canada. They will be very much happy about this result. That was a waste attempt, but very ambitious from the player. Very ambitious of taking that shot. It's a much physical game as well. You're seeing players dropping regularly on the ground because of very good aggressive tackles, aggressive plays as well, not allowing the opponent team to settle. But not much wasn't really in that, but he came in late, he came in from back. Typically referee will give a foul to the player that he challenging in that area, and then more likely sometimes that's not a yellow card, but referee decided to give him a wasteful yellow card in my eyes. But look, Canada have been trying their best to really to get through the spine of this Bosnia team, and it's just not working. It's just not working. They need someone up front where get the ball, pin it to him, it will stick for a few seconds. Get players, to get a much get players much far up in the pitch of a defensive third of the Bosnia team, and then allow players to run off his shoulders. But Jonathan is not that player. Tani, I've seen much of him, in the colors of Canada. So I don't know what he really can bring, at this level. And he don't really play a lot of games in the La Liga as well. So fairly unknown player for a lot of our why does keep on chipping up, man? But yeah, fairly new player as well. So we don't really know much about him. And another yellow card as well. Players have to be mindful of these yellow cards, because you see what happened. Yesterday you have 2 yellow cards, 3 yellow cards in the game, and I think what I heard too as well, that the Qatar World Cup have, I think, less than 7 red cards. So the mark has already off of amount of red card that was issued out last campaign as well in the FIFA World Cup. Passage. Boy, Canada make me kind of feel disappointed. You know, rooting for them, hoping that them can get the point, get the full treat, but they're going to have to do a lot more work than this, than what they have been doing in the last 15 minutes. I just think they are the better team in the last 15, no doubt about it. I think if you grade the first half, probably you want to say both teams control, the two side of the first half, before the water break as well. So I think before the water break, Bosnia was looking more of the better team. But again, the in-game management, the tactical work off the pitch during the water break, that will also, give Jesse March a few time, to prepare this team as well. Give a few extra details, adjust certain players on the pitch a lot better where they can position and get the ball in more open area, and players that who can create the space for their teammates as well. Not only if you have the ball or oh wow, it's almost, man. Canada is coming close. The goal will come shortly. Trust me. Maybe this game is a game where all of the goals I'm gonna score in a one goal, and that's the goal where Bosnia are defending at this moment. But can Canada change that at this time? Can they find a leveler when it do matters? Oh, who that Carnias? The Rangers, man. Oh God. Come on, that's a very free header. Come on, that you have to do better with that, man. Free header, no one really mark him. Another careless move again from the Bosnian team, not picking up their runners in the box. Canada being wasteful again, created roughly around 2 to 3 good clear opportunities in this game where could have gone, the right way. But half time, all the momentum, from Canada in the last 15 minutes of the first half, but they have a lot to play. They have a lot to play in this in the second half coming up as well. But in the 21st minute, it was Lukic header from the corner kick as well, very whipped in with the left foot as well for that ball to be snapped with Lukic header. But folks, Afe, 1 second, folks. I will be back. I will Yes, so sorry about that. But yeah, close to 60 minutes, almost an hour gone into the game, and there's still no breakthrough from the Canadian team. The Bosnian team got a few sniff in. I think it was a big opportunity to really go, 2 goal up in the game and to really, cement a stronger spot of winning this game, but they didn't take that opportunity. But seeing what is happening now, another set piece as well. Wow. So, the Canadian team, man, really under the cash, really under the cash. I think the Bosnian team really started out well in that first 10 minutes of the second half. And it's like similar things what happened in yesterday game where Czech Republic control that first half of that first half. And then, the same thing came out in the second half, the start of the second half. So let's see what will happen. But wow. Wow. That's the captain Mohaimovich. That's the skipper, That's another huge opportunity. So these opportunities, if they don't grab one and go 2-0 up or something, in this game, they're just allowing this Canadian team, to have respite, have moments against the still to believe that, they still can peg this game back or something. But you're looking at the touchline at this moment where it's going to be a triple substitution from Jesse Marsh. I think they need it. They need it, man. They need it. That's a big opportunity for Mihailovic. They need this. They need it. So you have players that's looking to get on the pitch. You see number 20. Number 20. Who is this coming on? So you're seeing Ali Hamed, is looking to come in as well. It's I think Jacob Schaffenberg seems like he's coming onto the pitch as well. But huge times, for this Canada team. They're on the attack over on the left hand side with Miller, trying to play the overlap pass to Larea. But the Bosnian team, man, is so clever. They're not really rushing to kick away the ball to pump it upfield or play direct football. They're more looking to make sure the ball that they're passing it going towards a teammate are safe enough to a teammate. But that was the offside call. That was a big call as well. That was the right decision. I think the referee, they got it right. But, I mean, you must be a brave man to run into that goalkeeper with those big gloves coming right in your face. But yeah, some substitutions coming up shortly for Jesse Marsh. Let's see who will get off the pitch. As look, Buchanan, I think one will come off. I think the 24 Promise David is coming on as well. So Ali Mohammed and Promise David is coming off. Miller is getting off the pitch. Schaffelberg is getting on the pitch as well. So triple change, attacking substitutions as well. Looking to get creative players on the pitch. Schaffelberg will bring that pace. Ali, should bring that little bit of creativity. And let's see if the young David will get a goal as well. So Jonathan David coming off, and coming on is Promise David. So David substitution for David. Yes, so that's it. That's not the final straw yet for Jesse Marsh, but it's the start of something you expect to be a game changer for his team as well. But if Jesse Marsh cannot win this game, it will be a huge upset in the making. Wow, but why? Tough times, Canadian massive, the people in the stadium they are just looking probably glass enough look, they don't know what the hell is going on. They look shocked. Me myself kind of look a bit, shocked, surprised of, this Bosnia team really coming into Toronto, to drape them up, gang them up, bad them up and walk away with full 3 points, but they still have roughly around 30 minutes left in the game before they can do something. David Stinker and the hook. I said it, man. David has been out of touch. As much as he scored loads of goals for Canada, but he has been out of touch. He has been out of touch, and it shows that he's nowhere near the confidence of a David once he was maybe 18 months ago, in playing in the French league and for Lille. So let's see if the other David on the pitch, can change things around for this Canadian team. There are high hopes of this young man coming into this World Cup as well. Another breakout star, playing in the Belgian Pro League. But it tells you that with these 3 substitutions, Ali, Schafferberg, Promise David coming out onto the pitch, tells you that Alphonso Davies is not fully fit, even though his name on the bench, but he's not fully fit. Tells you that he's not fully fit. They don't want to risk it because they will have a little bit of a high. They will have an eye on the knockout rounds as well. So they're looking more on the long term. They thought at first they could have actually get something out of this game without Alfonso. And I think Canada should have, at least have something, to hang on in this game. But it's hanging into the wrong direction. It is hanging into the wrong direction, man. Yeah, so another small team. That's a very good shot from Estacio. Yeah, very, very good shot. But it's a bit off target, from Estacio. But I think this Canadian team needs a lot more. They need a lot more firepower in the attacking third. But the Bosnian team, what really draw me so close, to the Bosnian team in this game is the composure, on the ball. I know they compose with it. That's something that you didn't see from any of the 2 teams that went into those 2 games yesterday as the least favorite team, South Africa and also the Czech Republic team. And they showed look the standard of, wow, big opportunity that missed again. Big opportunity that missed again. So the attacking scenes are flying at this moment for this Canadian team. Another set piece as well. But Bosnia at times in the game are hanging for their life, to get something hanging in there. But there's one thing though, I really like with this Canadian team. Especially it started in the second half. When you look in the first half, the midfield 4, especially the 2 players in the midfield, Kone and Estacio was playing in that double pivot in that 4-4-2 system. At times you see the backline probably around 7 to 10 yards away. A bit, the gap was a bit too large. You want to tighten up that a little bit where the pressing game will work, the closing down game will work, just to be much closer to your opponent. And I think they kind of close up the gaps in between the defensive line and the midfield line and the midfield line to the attacking line. I think it's a bit tighten up a bit where they have more grip on the game. So as soon as they lose that ball, they're right on the Bosnian team. But it's just the few players that very comfortable when the ball turn over, and they have a very much composure of dealing with the pressing game, passing the ball to another teammate where they're not wasting the opportunity of taking a bit of a respite, killing the momentum out of the game and start moving forward. So yes, the Canadian team, they are creating opportunities, but it's just not prolific enough. They're not prolific enough. And each time we could this Bosnia team get on the ball, they draw in some clever fouls, and it's not just the first. You could see the latest one right there with Kolasinac, and that was a big opportunity. Like, wow, that was Larea. That was Larea. That was a huge opportunity. Huge early out in the game. Huge. I missed that one. But yeah, Bosnian, man, they are doing everything. They're still in the driver's seat of being 1-0 up in this group, and it's still not done. It's still not done. But what this will do for them, this will do a lot for them, because Bosnia will be looking at this game. If they can get something from this game, yeah, even a point, they're looking at this Qatar team, the possibility of they can get something from this Qatar team, but it's all on focus on what's ahead of them at this moment, and it's to keep their 1-0 victory ahead and close out the game. But I want to see how long they can really sustain this high level of defending. Luck has to be on their side, as you can see as well. A few bars were cleared off the touchline as well. So big game. Switzerland be looking at these two teams and be licking their lips and like, is these two teams after offer, especially the giant host Canada. Switzerland clear favorites, to get out of the zone. Yeah, clear favorites to get out of this zone. But let's see what that Qatar team will bring to the party as well when that game will play. The Qatar and Switzerland game will play tomorrow at 3 p.m. Brazil, Morocco tomorrow at 6 p.m. Huge game. So 3 big games coming up tomorrow. 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Huge games coming up tomorrow for the Samba fans, the Scotland fans, the Haitian fans. Huge games coming up tomorrow. But big one, look more, is the Paraguayan team versus the US men's national team. Big expectation. I don't know if they think that the World Cup is hosted by 3 teams, not one. All these talks about the US as if the US alone hosting this tournament. We have watched one already, and we are watching this one at this current moment, and they're 1-0 down. The first one was a struggle for Mexico at some part in the game, to get that second goal. Now we are looking at Canada facing down the barrels of a first defeat, and that will be 4th defeat in a row. Yeah, 4th defeat in a row over the last 2 World Cup campaign, and he could go stretch all the way back. Yeah, you can stretch all the way back during those times when they qualify for their first World Cup. So we are looking at big 20 minutes coming up in the last part of this game, for the players, the fans, and Jesse Marsh. To see how the fans generate a very good atmosphere, before a ball was kicked, before the gate was even open inside of the stadium. The atmosphere that they generate around the city of Toronto, it was second to none. It was magnificent. I don't think the fans deserve this. The fans deserve much better. Yeah, the fans deserve much better, from this Canada team. But on another day, maybe they would have, find the back of the net. But this is what happened in football games. You have to make sure and be certain that the ball goes into the back of the net. You cannot kick and then hope. You have to kick with a lot of belief, yeah, and know that yes, the ball should go into the back of the net, and it will go into the back of the net. Corner is there a bit frustrated, didn't react properly. I think that was a foul. I think that was clear daylight foul. Alphonso Davis looking on as if what the hell is going on. They need him. They miss him, man. They miss that. They miss that jet ski on that left hand side. They missed that jet ski on that left hand side, but they still have a few minutes that left in the game. Huge minutes. I think quite some good amount of minutes left back. Just probably if you add the minutes, that probably would add on with the large amount of substitutions that's being made. Yeah, they will add roughly around 3 to 5 minutes. So you have still around 20 minutes left back in the game. But the closer this game gets to the 90 minute, it will be much harder for this Canadian team to get back in it, and it will be a lot of nerve-wracking. Pressure is building up. The players are facing huge criticism in the media at this moment. Wow, that was a bad challenge. The Bosnian players are up for it. You could see that they are shouting at their supporters in the stadium. They're feeling hype up. Yeah, I think that was a silly move. Could have easily been a free kick, but it's too close to the line. Yeah. Second phase of the second half. Let's see if this Canada team can turn things around and mount some very good attacking plays. But I'm very disappointed how this team has been playing, how they approach a game in the first 15 minutes. I just think the approach, I know they started out, it was so negative, it was so bad, couldn't get control on the ball, and that probably would give this Bosnia team a very good platform to build. And look how comfortable they are playing out the ball. Look at how the Canadian teams are the players are pressing in 3s and 4s, but they just cannot get the ball. And I've never really seen this from this Bosnia team watching that Italy game. I've seen quick transition play, quick attacking plays. I've seen very direct plays, but this type of a composure playing in the World Cup, these players as well playing in the World Cup, playing in a major tournament, it's just second to none just to see them doing it so easily. Are they making it look like it's so easy for them to get this job done against this Canada team, to be honest? Another substitution now, the Villarreal man is coming out. The Southampton player is checking in as well, Kyle Larin. Can he get something up? Can he get something up for this Canada team? They need a goal. The Canadian team need a goal, man. We're supporting this Canada team as a CONCACAF brothers. Quite a few Jamaicans, with heritage of the 876 Island, in this team as well. So, we're rooting for the boys in red. You can look at some of the stakeholders in the stands as well. One of the owners of Wrexham viewing down, and this Canadian team is looking at another defeat in another FIFA World Cup. This is huge, man. This is huge for Bosnian football. Huge. and they kind of slowing down the play now. This Canada team, building up a little bit of a momentum in this Bosnian half, pitching some tent, trying to find, some room, trying to find space. And it's Kyle Larry, and it's a goal. And it's a goal. Golasso. The man that came on, Kyle Larry, the man that came on just minutes ago, silenced the Bosnian crowd. And he got that goal to give the Canadian team a very good equalizer in this game. And it will set up the last probably around 15 minutes included at the time. Will give them a great challenge, to get the winner as well in this game. So Kyle Larin, man, getting the first goal for this Canadian team and home style in our FIFA World Cup. The Bosnian players is not looking good on their face. Right on the half volley, to send the game 1-1. And that's not the offside, on Kyle Larin's side. Kolasinac played him onside. So there's no offside can come in play. That was a bit, I think that one deflect as well after Bosnian skipper. Slight deflection. But anyways, this Canadian team, they will grab it. They will grab it. They will take this opportunity, to build on this game. A relief, Jesse Marsh on the touchline. Relief. And you will say that goal scored by Kyle Larry more likely be a hero in this game. I don't think there's no issue with the offside. No issue. There's no issue in this game for offside. There's no issue. I think this is a clear, blatant on offside. I think Kolasinac on the far left-hand side was so behind Kyle Larin where no infringement. 31 goals in 91 international appearances. That's a decent, return for the Canadian striker as well. Playing his football in English Championship nowadays days for Southampton. Let's see if the Bosnian team can react. What will be the approach? Will they be okay, with a 1-1 draw? Yeah, and there is a corner kick. No. Wow, the Bosnian fans, they're a bit agitated of wondering if they still. Yeah, look, there's daylight between Kolasinac and Kyle Larin. Daylight between two players. Daylight. The skipper, if anyone's to be blamed for that goal, it has to be the skipper because he was right behind the line of the back five for Bosnia. Slight little deflection, but anyways, Kyle Larin will take that any day, any given moment to get back his team in the game 1-1. But yeah, let's see if this game will have more goals in it and which team will score this goal. I think there's one more swing in this game. One more swing in this game. Who will create the next big moments? Massive goal, man. Massive goal from Kyle Larin. This is the time where this Canada team should ramp up some very intense plays. With Canada having a game played at home, there will be no justification on why this game, if it finished as it is at this moment, there is no justification of why they draw this game. Kolasinac cannot continue. His legs giving way at this moment. He has run his socks off. When you see a player come off of the pitch and the man hold him calf and him hold him hamstring, that man legs has gone. He has put in everything on that pitch. He has delivered everything. He has run his socks off. There's no more energy. There's no more life left back him. He use up every single muscle that runs through him both feet. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they are lapsed and to be behind the defensive line as the captain, as the leader. So Bosnia with a corner kick. Bosnia with a corner kick. Schaffelberg. I'm a bit stunned here, to be honest. I'm a bit stunned by watching this game to see how this Canada team allowing this Bosnia team to come in their own land, get a point, and going back home. If this game finishes 1-1, this Bosnia team will have so much confidence going into the next game between Switzerland and Qatar. And we're going to put their tails very high that they can beat this Qatar team. Wow. The Bosnian players are so tall. And there is a counter attack is on. The counter is on. And if he can get the ball across very quickly. Oh, could not find the man on the left. That would be such a fantastic play. Well, Laria, that was a magnificent, close down from Laria, to close him down, because if that player get the opportunity to look up and see the other Bosnian player running over on that left hand side, who was hoping that more likely would be Curtains 1v1 versus the goalkeeper. But can the Canadian team find a late winner on home side? Can they do it? That's the big question. Bosnian defenders are solid. They're not giving away much. They are not. They are not giving away that much opportunity. Very solid. See, as soon as Canada turn over the ball deep in the Bosnia backline, they know exactly where their players are on the pitch. They're just making some very quick passes, and to their teammates' feet where they're not giving any real opportunity for this Canada team to get on the ball, try to press them, try to get as close as possible. But they're playing the ball so quick out, so much composure, and it takes a level of organization and patience as well, and a level of fitness, because defending so deep and then win it back and then to find that energy to press and to run up the field. I mean, there's so much energy you can burn by chasing that ball, and how much you can give after chasing that ball and win it back. So easy, wasteful set piece by the Canada team, and it's going to be around 6 minutes of added time, an extra 6 minutes. 5 minutos. They are so good. That's Steven, so good, to be honest. So good. I like the style of Bosnia. I like the way they're playing. They're not rushing the game. They do everything or try to do it with perfection. Let me see what is the statistics around this game. I want to see the passing statistics where total pass complete. The Bosnia team has 162 accurate pass, 65% of what they have made. This Canada team as well, 285 accurate pass, 74% of what they made 383 passes. This is so huge, man. So huge. That's a that's a careless free kick there, giveaway by Coney. Careless. A point will be okay, but they will look back at this game. They were in lead for majority of the minutes. Yeah, they scored in the first 21 minute, and then Kyle Aaron scored around the 78, 79 minute. So it's roughly close to a good 50-minute lead from the Bosnian team. Yeah, more likely this game seems like it will come to an end, very shortly as well. To be honest, looking at it. I think that would be curtains. I think that would be more like the last real time this Canada team get into the Bosnian box. A minute and a half left, or 90 seconds. I think that's it, man. If them not concede already, I don't think this Bosnian team going to concede anymore. Be very, very shocked to see this team concede. It just look too much of an organized team. They know exactly what they need to do. They can play with their eye closed. So I just think Canada have already wasted the opportunity. They will not create any big opportunity than what they missed, especially in that first half. Big opportunity that was for Kyle Larin. Big, huge miss again. That was a more than a golden opportunity. They did well to create that opportunity. I think Schafferberg really came on and changed this game for Canada. He came on and changed the entire game. And it's Laria out on this right hand side. Ali Ahmed, I must say, Ali Ahmed. That was it, man. That was it. That was the opportunity, Kyle Larry. That was it. But it was a magnificent block. What was that? Memerovic? That was a magnificent block. And that was it. Yeah, it's curtains, people. So thanks and much love and respect. Streaming will come to an end at this moment. People, I'm out.